I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but God is saying your pain was not in vain. You did not suffer all of that you went through for nothing. The Lord said you did not pray, fast, and weep for nothing. He heard every cry. He heard every single prayer that you prayed. And the Lord is saying that it was not for nothing. So the Lord brought me to Galatians chapter 3, verse 4, and it says, you have suffered in many ways as believers. Surely this could not be without any good purpose. And then in Isaiah 61, verse 9, the Lord said, I will faithfully reward my people for their suffering. So something the Lord reminded me of is like earlier this year, a situation I was praying on, the Lord just kept telling me, don't be surprised how I answer. Do not be surprised with the way that I answer. It's not going to be in the way that we are looking for God to answer that thing. But God is saying the answer is still coming. The answer is still coming. You didn't suffer through those things for no reason. You weren't just talking to a deaf guy. He heard everything that you said. He's faithful to keep his promises. In Proverbs chapter 10, verse 24 and in verse 28, both of them say that the hopes of the godly will result in happiness, that they will be granted. So the Lord is not a man that he shall lie. When he tells you that he's going to answer a thing, he will. He's not slow to respond to his people. We must remember that wherever there's a promise, there's always going to be warfare. The devil loves to cause us to question a thing that God said about us, or question a situation that God has not moved in yet. Question if we really heard him. And we have to remember that in order to stay firm in what God said, we have to remind ourselves of his word, of every promise that he made to us. There's a purpose in all of our suffering. You got to remember, our life is not our own. So everything that we go through is for a testimony. It's a testimony that will help save somebody else or bring them closer to Christ. So we have to remember that there's a purpose in the pain. There's always a purpose in the pain. God does not enjoy watching his people suffer. He's not a harsh or a mean God that would just watch and rejoice at his people suffering. No, that's not the case. The Lord always has a plan in everything. What the enemy meant for evil, God will always turn it around for our good. Sometimes God will respond to us in a way that just doesn't make sense to us, and it's not meant to make sense. So we have to release the need to know, the need to understand why God did a thing or why God allowed a thing. We have to release that, because if we're truly going to submit to him and let him be God, then we have to remove ourselves from the will completely and let him take full control and just fall back and say, you know what, Lord, no matter what the circumstance is, I trust you. No matter what it looks like, I trust you. No matter how far off it looks from what you showed me, I trust you. And I truly believe that a lot of us as believers don't get to see the manifestation of the promises of God because we do allow the enemy to get into our minds. We get stuck in that place of self-pity and frustration with God, when really what we're supposed to be doing is constantly reminding ourselves of the word. We're supposed to be unwavering in our faith. When we get so focused on everything that the enemy is whispering and the reality of our situation, that's when we cause our own delay. We cause our own missed opportunities, and we cause ourselves to miss out on promises when we get so focused on what the enemy is doing and what the enemy is saying. So I believe that if you're seeing this, you are not seeing this by accident. God is telling you to make a choice. Either you're going to choose to believe, or you're going to choose to get stuck in that place of never seeing the promises of God fulfilled because you failed to submit to the process. You failed to just trust him through the pain and the suffering. If Jesus had to suffer, what makes us think that we are exempt from suffering? It's no way that we could possibly think that we deserve a life free from suffering when Jesus himself had to suffer and he was perfect, So I think that as believers, we do get beside ourselves a little bit, and we keep ourselves in that stuck place. We keep ourselves in a place of bondage. Like, we give the enemy access when we feed into those lies and those, thoughts of self-pity. Like, oh, I'm just always going through stuff and stuff just never go right. I still haven't seen nothing happen in this situation yet. Well, keep believing, keep praying, keep trusting. That's how the people in the Bible, that's how they seen miracles take place. That's how they seen the manifestation of God's promises. They stayed faithful. They continued to believe. They continued to seek God. They didn't make excuses for their circumstances circumstances and say, well, because this is going on, I'm going to stop praying, I'm going to stop trusting, I'm going to stop believing. No, they kept going. They had to persist, and that's what we have to do if we're going to really see God move in our lives. So I hope that this helps somebody. I hope that you make the choice to believe God and to trust him. I hope that you remember that the enemy is the father of lies. He is not capable of telling the truth. So anything that he has whispered to you, any thoughts that go against and are contrary to the word of God and to God's faithfulness and his promises, we must rebuke that. Okay, because it's not the truth. It's not the truth about you. It's not the truth about your situation. God is still going to do exactly what he said he's going to do. Something that I pray during seasons of suffering to keep my heart in the right posture is, Lord, may my heart never stop worshiping you, and may my lips never stop praising you. Don't allow me to forget all the good that you have already done for me, and may my heart be satisfied in knowing those things, because we can get so caught up in our circumstances that we forget that if God never does another thing for us, he's already done enough for us in our past. He does not like complaining. He does not like a complaining heart. Okay, so if you want to see some real change in your life, start to thank God for what he's already done. He doesn't have to do another thing for you. He's good. He's good just based off of what he's already done.